Hi, I'm Kaylin. I'm the practice representative here at Beacon, and we're sitting in our infusion room, and I'm here to talk to Noel a little bit about stress and anxiety.
And as Kaylin said, I'm Noel. I work closely with Dr. Bartels in taking care of our many patients. And since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, we just want to shed a little light on the subject from the cancer perspective.
So Noel, I know that you've dealt with, you're a cancer survivor yourself, and you've dealt a little bit with stress and anxiety. Can you tell us about your experience with that?
Absolutely. So, everyone's story is so different, and when how I was diagnosed, it was so sudden and sort of traumatic that it was sort of nose to the grindstone, just do what I had to do to get it done. And I didn't fully feel the whole weight of the stress and the emotion and the consequences of that until I completed therapy. As we've talked about, I actually, in that beginning process, I felt that it was almost more stressful and emotional for my family, my parents, my spouse, even my siblings at that time. Can you tell me about your experience as a stage 4 cancer survivor?
I think that I had a similar experience. I have battled lung cancer, and my parents, I think, went through it more so in the beginning because I was just more numb to it and was in shock. And then I went through treatment, and then it hit me.
Right.
And then I think at that point I should have reached out a little bit more for some help.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I can say I was fortunate that my parents were so fully supportive, between helping me spiritually as well as working with a counselor. Mm-hmm. They got me right in almost immediately. Even when I was initially opposed to it, they started working with me about it. And I really think the fact that they intervened early mm-hmm. has made a huge difference for me in growing and moving forward with this.
Yeah. I know one thing that I deal with personally, and I don't know if you've seen this with your other patients, but I deal with survivor's guilt because I have a lot of friends that I have gotten throughout this process that deal with cancer as well and haven't done so well. And can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a very real and important issue to bring up. I see it in any stage of cancer, whether it's stage 1, whether it's stage 4, mm-hmm. Whether it's curable or terminal. I see that survivor's guilt, and it in all forms. Well, I'm tolerating this treatment better, but they're struggling. I've responded so great to this treatment, and they're progressing. There's so many forms of survivor guilt, and on that same subject, I see a lot of guilt within our caregivers and loved ones and spouses, because they too are carrying a huge burden, a huge weight in just the emotional aspects of this disease. And they oftentimes, I hear from them, they feel guilty for being worn down or struggling, or trying to keep up with it, because from their perspective is, I'm healthy, I'm well, I shouldn't be feeling this way, I need to be there to support my loved one going through this awful process. And they oftentimes get pushed to the side, and I think it's just so important for anyone dealing with any sort of, it doesn't even have to be cancer, it can be anything in their life that's weighing them down and causing stress and anxiety, to seek help. And it's not a taboo subject, there's nothing wrong with it. We truly just have to reach out and find ways to deal with it and move forward.
Well, Noel, it's been really nice talking to you about this, and it's just really nice to have somebody that I can relate to on this subject. I want to know your ideas on tips and tricks that'll help the rest of the community get through these times and their hard times through these.
This is a topic very near and dear to my heart, and something I'm continually working on as well. But I think some basic things we can do for ourselves and remind others to do is, get out and go for that walk. Take the time to read a book. Try to do your best to get a good night's rest. Get some exercise in, and just really, be thankful for the moment and relax and enjoy our loved ones.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah.